The news starts now. AM 1240 and 95.3 FM. WJON.
Good morning. I'm Jim Maurice. It is now 8:05, and we're at 52. Your WJON weather eye forecast coming up in a few minutes after the news. News this hour brought to you by SB Restoration and Scotty's Exteriors. Man is in the hospital and 4 men in the jail after allegedly there was an armed robbery in St. Cloud. St. Cloud police say about 2:30 yesterday morning, officers were in the area of the 1000 block of 9th Avenue South when they were approached by a man who said he had just been robbed by a group of men. The 26-year-old man from St. Cloud told officers he was in a store and had a brief altercation with the suspects inside the store. After he left the store, the men approached him, assaulted him, and robbed him of cash and other items. The police report does not list the store that the incident happened in. One of the suspects allegedly had a gun. Gun was recovered at the scene. It was not fired during the incident. The victim taken to Mayo Ambulance, by Mayo Ambulance to St. Cloud Hospital with serious injuries. Suspects arrested are 24-year-old Zakiri Osman of St. Cloud, 24-year-old Yazin Osman of St. Cloud, 21-year-old Mohammed Yusuf of St. Cloud, and 20-year-old Abdikahim Duquesne of St. Cloud. Well, the discussion about allowing accessory dwelling units began last night. The St. Cloud Planning Commission held a public hearing on the topic to allow for some initial feedback from the public. Accessory dwelling units are basically a second living space on the same lot, like a converted garage or an attached to an existing home. 3 community members spoke during the hearing. Michael Peterson says he enthusiastically supports the idea.
And the 2 reasons that stick out most to me is that it improves density and walkability, and walkability is good for the waistline. And the second reason is that it helps us to take care of our aged parents.
Doug Bozer says he doesn't generally oppose allowing ADUs, but there's a lot of things to consider before the city moves forward, like having enough parking spaces and alleyways and what would be allowed on smaller lots in the city's core neighborhoods.
Think about the conflicts that might arise with, certainly 2, 3, 4 ADUs on a lot might get to be a lot for a neighbor who, again, they look at it going, well, I was here first, and all of a sudden my neighbor decides to build something.
The third person who spoke also supports the idea, saying young people and seniors would benefit the most. The Planning Commission voted to hold a work session to further discuss both the pros and the cons. A long-awaited and controversial sports betting bill is set for a vote in the Minnesota House this afternoon. The product of long-running efforts spearheaded by Coon Rapids Democrat Zach Stevenson, trying to satisfy competing interests.
Stevenson's bill authorizes mobile sports betting licenses for Indian tribes with a 20% tax on proceeds. It legalizes fantasy contests, taxed at 10%. It reduces tax rates on charitable gambling receipts beginning in fiscal 2025, provided tax revenues from sports betting and fantasy contests hit certain thresholds. And Stevenson's bill prohibits what are called historical horse racing, or HHR machines, at Minnesota's 2 horse tracks, overriding a recent decision by the Minnesota Racing Commission, but also establishes an economic development account to benefit the tracks. Bill Werner reporting.
5 area schools and early childhood education centers have received grant funding from the state. Governor Tim Walz announced almost $1 million in grants to 48 school districts and 14 ECEs around the state. Grant money awarded to those in the area include $30,000 to the St. Cloud Area School District for Wade Park, nearly $15,000 to Holdingford Public Schools, $3,500 to Becker Public Schools, $3,300 to Day Spring Academy and Child Care Center in Cold Spring, and $5,000 for Reach Up Incorporated in St. Cloud. The spring 2024 planting season is making progress between the rain showers.
Minnesota farmers are reporting good moisture levels as the planting season continues. Corn planting is more than half complete, about average for this time of year, while soybeans have reached 25% complete and spring wheat surged to 71% complete, more than 30% above average for this time of year. Cattlemen are reporting good news. 62% of the pasture land is in good or excellent condition. This year's crop is going into decent soil, with Minnesota farmers reporting about 70% of the topsoil and subsoil moisture is at good levels. With Farm News, I'm Jeff McMahon, WJON.
WJON News Time now at 8:10. It's cloudy and 51. News this hour brought to you by SB Restoration and Scotty's Exteriors. Your WJON Weather Eye forecast coming up next.
Come. Radar weather.
For St. Cloud and for Sauk Rapids. Cloudy today, 71 for a high. Southeast wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Scattered showers and non-severe thunderstorms this evening. 85% chance. We'll say about a quarter of an inch of rain tonight. 52 overnight. Southeast wind at 10 to 15. Tomorrow becoming partly cloudy, 69 for a high. And west wind at 10 to 15. In the extended forecast on Friday, clear skies and 80. Saturday, partly cloudy with a slight chance of a scattered storm and 80. And Sunday, partly cloudy with a scattered shower and 73. WJON news time is 8:12. It's cloudy and 52. For more St. Cloud area news, sports, and weather, download our free WJON app on your smartphone or your tablet. Jim Maurice, WJON.
All right, Jim, what's coming up at 8:30?
Flags are at half staff today. We'll tell you about that at the bottom of the hour.
All right, Jim, thank you. It's 8:12, and we're at 52 degrees. Our Voices for Veterans segment coming up next here on WJON, brought to you by Coils, Flags, and Flagpoles. And our guest today will be Ashley Rude, Joya Burns-Tellez, and Jackie Stevenson. We're talking about whole health. That's on the...
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.